Hi, thanks for watching. So, what is going to happen in astrology and the stars over the next week? It's a mixed bag, it's interesting. It's not quite as fast and furious as it was last week, but we do come into some fast furiousness, which kind of starts this week, which is going to go on for the next month or so. So let's get stuck in. Monday the 15th, we have the moon in Virgo. She enters Virgo 3:13 a.m. Pacific, 6:13 a.m. Eastern, and 13 minutes past 11 in the morning in UK. So once we've got that Virgo influence, things do change quite a bit. Virgo are often accused of being kind of OCD, and really wanting to get everything in order and being a bit too over the top about that. However, it's the kind of week when we could really do with being well organised, so there's nothing really too wrong with that. And that stays the case until Wednesday the 17th of April, and then the Libra Moon comes in, and that comes in at 4:20 a.m. Pacific, 4:21 a.m. Pacific, let's get it right, 7:21 a.m. Eastern, and 12 noon, 21 minutes past midday here in the UK. We got the Libra Moon. Also that day, Mercury enters Aries, and this kind of Aries is a very warlike kind of planet, so this makes fast-moving communications and really quite aggressive communications really going on for the next 4 weeks. Okay, so it's time to be careful with words. I am screwed, my friends, because that is one thing I'm never careful with. But I'm going to be trying for the next 4 weeks, starting from Wednesday the 17th, because I must. Anyway, that Libra Moon, as I say, comes in on Wednesday the 17th. And that's still what's at issue on Friday the 19th, because on Friday the 19th we actually get the new moon. And the new moon is still in Libra when we get that that full moon. And that comes in, let me see, I didn't actually write the time down. How stupid is that? Okay, 12 p.m. UK time, 8 hours before that, so that's 4:12 a.m. Pacific, 7:12 a.m. Eastern, and 12 minutes past 12 noon in UK. We get the full moon, and that is when everything in nature and in spirituality, and that which is all part of nature actually, and within us as well, really in our lives, we find opportunities, we find things brimming over, almost more opportunities than we can deal with. Well, actually, always more opportunities than we can deal with. We've got to try and pick out the opportunities that mean the most to us. And I'm just going to say keep on keeping on in that sense, because change is a wonderful thing, progress is a wonderful thing too, and maybe you want to be making new progress with what you're already doing rather than starting a new thing. That's entirely up to you, and that depends where you are in your world. Maybe your way of making progress is to start a new thing. We're all different. I went through an illness a few years ago that kind of slowed down my way of thinking, and it really helps me if I'm always learning a new thing. So kind of that can be a bit scattered really. But staying focused with a thing is about doing it over a period of time. Things get scattered, things get less scattered. All the time it's learning, and that is really what this full moon is going to be offering us in terms of energy. Also, because it's the second Libra full moon of the year, and it's only April, folks, so that is really quite unusual. It brings a chance to balance sort of finances, really, and relationships, bringing balance into those two areas. And it has been quite a turbulent year so far, so that would be no bad thing, in my humble opinion. Again, it all depends where you are. It all depends where things are heading. Let's get the words right. All depends where things are heading. But generally speaking, things are always heading somewhere. It can be a positive place, it can be a negative place. Very much of that is up to you, really. Sometimes we have to kind of push some people away. Sometimes we have to bring people in closer. Sometimes we're doing a project and it's a big success. Sometimes we're doing a project, it looks like a failure, but we plod on and we make it work. Sometimes it's absolutely hopeless. And it's really good if we can make decisions about things like that. But going with astrology, going with the moon, that Friday the 19th full moon is going to be a real good opportunity for bringing balance, because it's in Libra, which is the sign of balance, the scales. And we could look out for some divine justice around then as well. things being put right that we can't always put right ourselves. Sometimes something big happens, something good happens, and everything gets put right. So looking very, very favourable on Friday the 19th. Also on Friday the 19th, 5:40 a.m. Pacific, 8:40 a.m. Eastern, and 13:40, 20 minutes to 2 in the afternoon here in the UK, the moon enters Scorpio. And this really plays into all the kind of thinking skills and everything that I've been talking about, and making things happen in the right way. My tablet won't actually bring up, never mind, right, let's just guess, because that's the best thing. It can be emotionally difficult under a Scorpio moon, okay? Excuse me, the colours of the world turn black and white. People either want absolute cut and dried, what's the word? Incontrovertible answers to things that are just obviously right. And there aren't that many answers to things which are just obviously incontrovertibly right in this world, friends. It's just the nature of life. But that's what people start looking for. And it's a kind of a black and white situation. Also, sexuality, sensuality tend to be heightened. Some people can use their sexual power strategically. So do be aware of that, because it's a Friday. It's going to be, end of work for the week. People get together. Just don't get talked into something you don't want to do. That's all I can say. There's less tact, there's less diplomacy with the Scorpio moon, but they know how to have a good time. And it's a great time, actually, for doing something that needs total devotion to it, something that's maybe a bit intense, and you may actually need to be on your own to do that. You may need to be with a group, who knows, but try and be where you need to be to get those things done when you're thinking that way, when we actually have the Scorpio moon, because it's a Scorpio moon pretty much right through the weekend. On Sunday the 21st, she enters Sagittarius at 1 minute to 9 a.m. Pacific, 1 minute to midday Eastern, and 4:59, 1 minute to 5 p.m. in UK in the afternoon. That's next Sunday. There's a lot to happen before then, and I will be back before then with more input on this. But first, let's look at Saturday the 20th. Because we will actually still have that Libra moon, no question about that. But the sun is going to move from Aries into Taurus, and the sun is going to be, the sun is going to be, oh dear me, right, yeah, the sun is going to be in Taurus for 1 month. I'm sorry, I'm hopelessly disorganised and I can't read my own writing. What does that tell you? Right, that's really good news, okay? The sun going from Aries into Taurus because Aries is essentially around about sort of war and resolving issues through conflict that way, which sometimes needs to be done. But as the sun moves into Taurus, we get a whole month when it's really good for manifesting things, for making your visions become a real thing in this world. In a sense, you could say alchemy. And we've got 4 weeks when those things are very highly favoured, actually. But the other thing, the slight downside that I thought I'd started on a minute ago, but I know I'm starting on Saturday the 20th also, Venus, which has everything to do with love, moves into Aries, which has everything to do with war. So it's kind of tricky. It could be difficult in relationships next weekend. But, conflicts sometimes need to be resolved through that way. So sometimes things get awkward that way. That's the bottom line of it, folks. Okay, so really interesting week. The star of the show, in my opinion, is the second Libra full moon of the year. That is really going to get things even more balanced than the last one did. And that is very positive, because if there's one thing we can't do without in this world at this time, in fact, at any time in history, friends, it is balance. Balance is so important. There's loads of opportunities for it here. Okay, friends, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, please. If you haven't, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that bell for more notifications, then you won't miss anything. And I'll be back very soon with more. Have a great day. Goodbye.